Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Masters SA. And welcome to my co-hosts Aaron Burrell of Cycling News and Sean Peters of Sean Peters Media. Good evening, gents.
How's it, guys? How's it? Welcome to Aaron and welcome to Kobus. Great to see you guys here. It is race number 7. We are heading for a very, very good couple of race weeks left ahead of us. I think we've got 2 weeks ahead of us left. And we're at the Ocean Lava Cliffside Loop, fairly new to the game. And let's go on to Aaron and just, I know he said off air, one of his favorites. Aaron, what's it like out at the Ocean Loop?
Hey Sean, hey Quibus, good to see you guys again. Good to be in the commentary box, if you want to call it that. This is going to be, I think this is going to be a bit of redemption for some of the riders, especially looking back at last week's OPI Zwift session, if you want to call it that, with a bit of the chaos of the climb, a bit of issues with the timing, etc., and the coning of certain riders.
We should probably mention there, Aaron, and both of you alluded to it now, 2 weeks of racing left. We are adding an additional race to the series. So, but there will only effectively be 8 because we canned last week's race. It was a bit too much. It was too ridiculous. And in addition to the U-turns or the spins, we caught live on air donuts. I guess we had a large portion of the field being DQ'd. It's a known issue of Zwift. They are working on it, and sorry for that, guys. So we've introduced a race which has been pre-cleared and tested. No shenanigans for race 9. Please continue, Aaron. Let's chat about today's route.
Yes, so guys, this is the Ocean Lava Cliffside Loop. It was released in December last year as part of the Watopia expansion plan. So essentially, it's a 19-kilometer lap, if you want to call it that. The guys are going to be doing it twice today. So we should have around 38 kilometers of distance with just over 300 meters of climbing. Looking back at this course, I did this race about 2 or 3 weeks ago. We finished that in around 50 minutes. So we're probably it's going to be a long one. I know the distance that we're seeing on screen. Some guys possibly of the belief that it's going to be a shorter one given the sort of lack of elevation. But there are sections of gravel which are going to slow the speeds down. There's a couple of lumpy, bumpy sections as well. But if we're looking at this course in particular, it starts out in downtown Watopia. The guys are going to climb out of Ocean Boulevard. They're going to turn right. They're going to head towards the volcano. From the volcano, they're going to sort of drift over a section of gravel. There's a switchback climb, which takes them, I think, to the 360-degree bridge. They're going to go up the pre-Epicom climb, not all the way up. Just as they crest to the top, they're going to take a left, which is a little section which bridges the two descents or the two sections off. So you can go up this Epicom reverse climb. You can do it on either side. This just bridges the sections. There's a little bit of a downhill where the guys can super tuck and relax a bit, and then it takes you back to the start. So it's a little bit of everything today. I do feel that this course is not going to be one for the sprinters. I think there are some really steep sections.
Yeah.
We're going to see the faster guys, particularly the A+ riders. They will cause some distance between the weaker riders, and we're going to see some significant splintering.
Especially at that 8 kilometer, I reckon it's at about 8 kilometers. I unfortunately did get to ride the course, but I know at about 8 kilometers is where that sharp incline starts. Aaron?
Yeah, it's around, I'd say, I'm looking now at the file. It's around, I'd say, between 8.8 and 9 kilometers. Okay. That's going to really get steep. It's going to be a decisive point. Guys with some incredible kick are going to be able to stay with the faster guys, but if you don't time that, there'll be a little bit of draft. There'll be a little bit of a draft effect for the guys to hang in and try and just stay with the guys. But it's going to be a VO2 max effort. And when they get to the section which bridges the two, the climb and the descent, there's a gravel tar section. the guys are going to be on the limit there as well. And it just depends on how hard that section is pushed.
Yeah. Well, coming up to the 3-minute mark, there we go, up on your clock on the screen at the moment. So, folks, if you've just joined us, a warm welcome to you. It is a Wednesday evening. You are watching Masters SA series. It is an exceptional series. We had some bit of a rough one last week, but in terms of the rest of the races, it's been exciting to watch. And if you've joined us right from the beginning, thank you very much, folks. We're about to get under started orders. We're about to hit the start of race number 7. We're with Aaron Borrell all the way from London, England with us, and Cobus, who's just on the other side of the hill out in Stellenbosch. And Aaron, just giving us a bit of a rundown of this course. I know the Ocean Lava Circuit, I think it was the first to run that Epic Com section, if I'm not mistaken, back in December, Aaron.
Well, that Epic Com bypass section,
Bypass,
more specifically, yes.
Yeah. And we're going to see that very shortly, folks. In fact, there we go. Under 2 minutes to go. 1 minute and 54 seconds on your counter.
Bike changes? Are we going to see bike changes here?
No, not a chance. There's not going to be bike changes today. There is a section, of course, that I'm not going to allude to right now. That is going to be a definitive section. I've had a little slack in the past of giving away too many secrets before the race starts. I will touch on it a little later in the broadcast, but there are 2 sections. We've mentioned the 1 section. We'll just have to see how the guys pace themselves. But it's a really good field today. There's a strong complement of A+ and A riders. And yeah, it's good to see the guys keep coming back. I mean, we've got Gustavo Aquino again. We've got Jorge Marino. We know he's been riding really, really well recently. He also did the Zwift Classics Yorkshire race last night in a packed field. He finished in the top 10. That race was won by Leonard Tiergels. Eddie got 2nd place. So the man from East London might be on tender legs today, but we know that, you can never write off Eddie Hull, who the commentators are referring to as Eddie Oily for some reason. They can't pronounce Hull. So we're going to be calling him Oily from now on.
All right. There we go. 35 seconds on the clock. We're about to get the next couple of seconds. We're going to hear them get off the line. And actually, it's quite interesting. You can actually hear it when you in a live situation. It's amazing to hear the crunching of those gears. Here we go, folks. 15 seconds on the board. I'm going to count them in, and then we're going to get underway with race number 7. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and there we go. It's a start of race number 7.
And the boys are all, this is always gives you the sensation of the start of a cross-country race. It's absolute panic. The guys are going hell for leather. But what's interesting is that there's certain guys who leave their sort of wind up of the trainer to about 2 seconds to go. And I know there are a lot of guys who start winding it up from 10 seconds, which is quite an eternity. I mean, your legs are pickled by the time the clock is down to 0. But this is the section I spoke about, Sean. They're leaving downtown Watopia. There's going to be a slight rise, probably in around 200 meters. I would say it is an important section, which is going to lead them into the right-hander. If guys fall asleep here and not pay attention, or they're not attentive to what's happening, we might see a couple of gaps. But this is a rude awakening.
Yeah, a 67-meter gain right at the start of it on very fresh legs, or like some of them, like you said, on a bit of tender legs.
Yeah,
that's a very quick gain in a very short distance.
Yeah, but I mean, the race isn't won on this incline here. So there's a lot of guys who come out a little bit too enthusiastic for no reason. And they think they can hold the attack. It's easy when you put down 400 watts for the first time to think you can maintain it. But after 10 seconds, you realize, what the hell have I done?
Youthful exuberance. But this is Masters racing. Nobody should be that silly.
When there's so many egos on the line, you're going to get a bit of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Beautiful kaleidoscopic mix of colors here with all the jerseys.
Yeah, incredible to see. Cobus, do we know how many starters we have this evening? It's great to just hear those stats.
Looks like 197. You can see it over there
Not bad.
on the right-hand side of the screen. Not bad.
Not bad for a Wednesday evening. Just under 200 starters.
I think given how freezing it is, we've got a lot of South Africans tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the coldest days we've had in a very, very long time. Snow-filled mountains, snow-capped mountains.
I was complaining, but I chatted to a client in Bloemfontein, and he recorded -6 in his driveway this morning.
That is not nice.
That is, I think that's where the water freezes in the shower head, you know,
Yeah.
kind of level.
I remember when I first moved to the UK and I woke up and the windscreen was frozen over. So I thought I'll just, use the tap outside and use the hose pipe, and that was frozen solid as well. So
That's a rude awakening.
yeah, it is. And the only man on the block that walked outside barefoot. What is this guy doing? That's what I do, man. That's what I do.
He must be from South Africa, this lad.
Apparently it's frowned upon you. Apparently if you walk around barefoot in the UK, it's frowned upon. To me, it's natural. So I just do it.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
If they want to frown upon me, they can go ahead.
Oh, you dirty immigrant walking around barefoot.
Oh.
There we go. Coming through that lava section now, as Aaron alluded to early on in the broadcast.
Yeah, they come through the volcano. There's a slight little rise as they leave it, and then they're going to head onto a slight downhill section, and then a little interesting bit will soon unfold. But yeah, I mean, you can see now on the
We're
live,
waiting for that. We're waiting for that.
you can see on the live sort of power feeds, there's a lot of guys going a bit too hard too soon. I think that's also to do with the nerves and the excitement. Long way to go, guys. There's no need to waste as much energy sitting in the bunch as you are now, especially when you're looking at guys like Eddie and Christian, who are only sitting in the 4s. That's when you need to worry. If you're pushing more power than them so early, that's not a good sign.
No.
2 laps of this. So, folks, if you are watching for the first time, 2 laps of this route, and as Aaron just said, don't burn those matches too early, because you got a long way to go, gents. Long way to go, and to the ladies, of course.
We've got quite a big pack together at the moment. This is not going to be the same scenario in the next 2 minutes.
Oh, come on, you killing us, Aaron.
Yeah.
There's a
Listen, I'm going to switch off.
There's a section coming up which goes through some ruins, a couple of switchbacks on gravel. It's known for its brutality. It doesn't matter how much power you've got. Everyone's going to hurt on that section. That's going to be the decisive moment on every single lap. So it's not going to be the climb that I mentioned previously, the pre-Epicom climb. That's not the moment where the splits are going to form. It's going to happen now.
Okay. So that's because of the additional rolling resistance on gravel, I'm guessing.
Exactly. And it doesn't matter how many times you recce this course or do any kind of recon, you're not going to be doing it at race pace, and you're not going to get a full understanding of what bearing that gravel actually has on your avatar. So we'll see the chief proponents of the race start moving up now. You're going to see it now. There's Gustavo. Gustavo's already moving up. Eddie's moving up. Christian's moving up. That's what you have to look for. And we're going to see orange numbers shortly, because this is where you don't want to be caught out.
Tiens is in the lead. It's nice to see.
It's good. Let's hope he stays there. The man is a talent, and we need to see more of it. So here we are, the guys on the gravel. This is a bit innocuous at the moment now. They are going to feel the resistance, and obviously, the speed's going to drop a bit, but it's only once it starts kicking up that the true effect of this climb takes hold, and it goes on for a lot longer than you think. You can see the top from the bottom. but it almost feels like it's always out of reach. So as you can see, look how it's strung out. I mean, this is exactly what it was going to happen. The guys it's going to be pushed. The numbers are going to be massive here. You're going to see there's already orange numbers coming through. And yeah, that's going to splinter probably in 3 or 4 groups by the time you get to the top here.
Because I mean, Aaron, this is a good 3 kilometer climb before you get to that actual part of the real climb, or the climb that's going to break them apart properly. Although this has already broken them properly.
Yep, and there we go. There's Eddie Hull, young Eddie Hull. I know he's not as young, he's a master, but I call him young Eddie Hull, doing what he does best, leading from the front and, trying to make things happen. And if you look back there into the distance, it's one continuous line, probably for a kilometer.
Yeah.
They are going to come back together, but the guys from behind are going to be completely on the limit.
Yeah, there we go. He's been reeled in, and a lot of the guys just pass him.
Yeah, there in the distance you can see there's a whole group that's not going to come back here. I don't see that happening. Certainly not before the climb. Huh. Well done, Aaron.
Yeah, Mark Kavanagh in the mix there. So, as I say, the young man from Hermanus.
We call them all young men, don't we?
Well, they all are young men.
Because we're all at the same age now, so we call each other young. So it's a whole mental game.
What else are we going to do?
Yeah, we've got no one else calling us young anymore.
Exactly.
Not the ladies.
Wow, okay. This is whittled right down. Look at that. They're distancing the guys at the back there. Okay. So the stragglers are not coming back.
And it's only going to get harder and harder. It's very attritional. So this course is not a course where you're going to find a rhythm. There are going to be just sections of continuous efforts at different gradient angles. And that absolutely shreds the leg. So you need a measured effort here. You need to know exactly how you perform on a personal level, and you've got to take it from there. As you can see, there's clever riding there from Eddie, right on the back. He's done what he needed to do. He split the group apart, and now he's just sitting in and enjoying the ride because he knows what's coming up shortly. Another climb.
And quite interesting, I mean, with coaching that I'm at the moment, just looking at his cadence, it's not far up there, but yet he's managing to push big watts. Quite incredible that he can climb at that rate.
Eddie's known for mixing up his cadence because, your cadence, specifically on Zwift, it can have quite a bearing on your heart rate. So for some guys, if they drop their cadence and they talk it a bit, they can drop the heart rate. Whereas if they start upping the cadence, on an attack or to bridge an attack, it increases the heart rate. So it just might be something that works for Eddie, or a technique he uses either just to clear lactate from his legs or lower his heart rate.
Yeah, quite interesting. Now that you've said that, obviously with me testing out the elite trainer, and thanks of course to N Squared for that, just noticed that the minute you get up to the 80s in terms of that RPM, how quickly your heart rate goes up versus stationary bikes that we might train on at other places. So quite interesting that you mentioned that now.
Guys, I have to point something out, and it's actually quite incredible. We're talking about the ladies' race and how we're going to maybe focus on them. We've got a pro racer here. We got Alice Lethbridge in the.
Oh my word! Okay, I'm switching to second feed now. Okay, so this is our leading lady in the overall, Ina Medgley. So she's wearing the pink jersey at the moment.
So you got Ina here, but with the men, you've got, with the fast men, with Eddie and Gustavo, you've got Alice Lethbridge.
It's amazing.
He's riding at, I can tell you now, I think I've lost the feed. I don't know what, okay, she was on about 4.9 watts per kilogram, and she's another one who participated in the Zwift Classics last night and just showed her skill and ability. She led from the front. She rode away from the pro bunch of ladies and won the race. And there was just an Italian lady who was able to stay with her, but she used her guile and ability to outwit her in the sprint. So it's going to be very interesting to see how many guys get checked by Alice tonight.
Quite a few, I imagine. Can you spell her name for me, Aaron?
So it's Alice. So it's ALICE and then LETH Bridge. And she rides for Heino. Super talented rider, and it's a privilege to have her racing this tonight.
Okay, well there we are with Alice.
Yeah, it just shows you what type of names we can.
She's in that front group. That's amazing.
She's in the front group, and she won't get dropped, Quibus. She's phenomenal. She's got crazy power, and as I said, she's a pro. Real pro. So.
And there you can see a climber. One of the noteworthy points, she's an excellent climber as well.
Yeah, she is. As you can see, she's here putting out what 360, 400 watts at 187 BPM. She's with the guys here. She's closing the gap, and she's going to make the selection up this climb. It's very steep. Goes on for a lot longer than you actually think. Once you hit the bridge section, it's even faster. So. Just because you're staying in now doesn't mean you're with the group. The worst is still to come.
Okay, we're happy to hear that then.
And also, just a big thanks to Quibus, our tech guy and our race director, managing to get a dual feed here, so we are able now to get onto the ladies, and hopefully we can see more ladies out there. So, ladies, if you are watching and you're not participating, well, you've got two to three races still left of this series, but there's another series that's probably going to be announced very soon. I'm not letting a cat out of the bag because I actually have no info at all.
No, you don't.
I really don't. But it would be nice to see another series after this one. We get accustomed to talking on a Wednesday evening.
Still a long winter, I guess. It is. We'll see what we can do. Definitely. Okay, so speaking of selection, this is our front group.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of guys in there, Quibus, and having a look at the live feed, and there's still, I don't know when last this was updated, but there looks around 60, 70 guys here. That's how far it's been strung out. So they're hitting on the bypass now. It's also quite a tough section. If whoever's in that front group that we're seeing now, if they want to make that into a definitive selection, they're going to have to push the pace on the front now. Because if it gets back together, this means there's a lot more work on the second lap. But it's going to be interesting just to see who's in the selection now and if Alice actually made it.
Christian at the front here.
Alice did make it from what I can see.
Okay, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, she's definitely in that batch of riders.
Oh, we don't need to speculate. I can switch to Alice. There we go. Okay. She's in 31st position. It looks like she's just falling off the back there.
Yeah, there's that bit of gravel I told you as well. So it's a bit of tar and gravel.
She's in the second group.
There's going to be plenty gaps happening now. So
absolutely.
The guys with the proper Zwift knowledge, and the guys who have sort of picked up the nuances of the gamification of Zwift are going to excel here, because it doesn't matter how much power you're mashing through those pedals. If you don't know how to save your power in key pivotal sort of moments within the game, you're going to get dropped. Simple.
Okay, so she's in that chunky chasing group you can see in the background there.
Yeah.
Switching to her, and oh no, it looks like she's off that group, off the back of that second group. Well done, Alice. You've got a substantial lead on the second lady, I believe, and she's still 33rd in the field, which is incredible.
In the field, yeah. Interesting to see that heart rate, though. It was sitting at 182 as we jumped off of there.
Yeah.
Okay, back down to 177. And then let's look at, if you go back to that other feed with Christian, just have a look at the difference there, 151.
Yeah, he's still quite within himself.
Christian's max is 100, though, so he's way over. No, I'm joking.
What?
You know, heart rate is it's a personal thing. It's different for
It
him.
is a personal thing, yeah.
But I know he can. I know Christian can hit a high one. So this is idling for the man.
Yeah.
Mm.
Do we know what his max heart rate is?
You'll have to ask Quibus if he wants to allude to that.
Mm.
Putting Quibus
Look, I
on.
don't know. Look, I mean, during his VO2 max test, I think he went to 210.
Yeah. What?
Yeah,
Insane.
which in my world is a heart attack. But it
Yeah,
might have been
yeah,
higher
yeah.
than that actually. But I mean, I so sorry. I mean, it was frightening.
Yeah.
Sort of heart rate I could do when I was 16 years old. You know.
Great to see a lot of SA flags in that first batch there, guys.
Yeah.
Just trying to see. My screen's a bit small. I'm trying to see who. Go to the other feed. Trying to see who else is in there.
There's a big gap has actually happened here. There's a 2-second gap
Hmm.
back.
Mm.
We've got the usual names.
The
here.
usuals. Peter Matthyson's there.
I think is it Jachriaf? We've got Jachriaf in
Mm.
here.
Yeah.
There's
Mm.
David Bailey. There's Rowland from Bluff Bros.
Gustavo.
David Garrett. It's nice to see David Garrett up there again.
Yeah, how's it, David? I know he tunes in. How's it, Mr. Garrett? Haven't spoken in 2 weeks. We
Which means nothing's gone wrong.
yeah, means we're doing a great job, I think.
I wish I could say the same.
So you can see the chasing group at the back there. These guys in front really need to blob up and use the snowball effect of the super tuck. If they're pedaling, it's not going to do anyone any favors. You'll probably find the guys at the back are all super tucking, and that's why you get the impression that they're actually closing in, although that the gap has grown to 3 seconds. But these guys need to be super tucking. Stop pedaling. It's not doing anyone any favors, guys. Seriously, stop
Because
it.
you're going to tire yourselves out.
Yeah, and it's just not going to help the group. You need to be super tucking. You know, they're going way over 57 k's an hour, and at -3, as you can see, you can super tuck. So it's going to get a little steeper now, but
I see some of the guys are super checking. They're just using the opportunity to recover.
A little perplexed as to why some guys are pedaling. It just doesn't make any sense. It could be a lighter rider who just is worried he's possibly going to get dropped. So he wants to pedal rather, as opposed to risk dropping the watts to 0, not going to the super tuck, because sometimes you don't go into super tuck and then you're out the back. But yeah, if you want to increase the lead or increase that sort of rolling speed, everyone needs to be in the super tuck, and we're seeing it now because the gradient has dropped to around, it's increased to -7, -8.
Aaron, I'm seeing Tron bikes and I'm seeing the full aero setup with the disc wheel at the back. Which do you think is better today?
I would say on a pan flat course, something if you're going to be attempting to do the sub 2 hour 100k Tempest Fugit, I'd go with the Vans with zips, with the disc at the back. For something like this, you probably just there's such a marginal difference between the two setups, but the Tron looks so cool. You're gonna have to give it to the Tron.
Oh yeah, and it's live streamed. You're going to be on TV, so you definitely want to be on your Tron bike. You
You're gonna
know.
be on Tron. I mean, look at that. That's a beautiful picture. What a peloton.
We're talking about that, just looking for that live stream that we can just maybe see if there's anyone chatting or wanting to chat to us or drop our technical guys a question or two. You're welcome to do so.
Speaking of the bike choice, the Quibus and Sean, what's interesting and what some guys I found have done is when you've got the Tron, there's a chance, or there is the reality that you can't see if your avatar has secured the draft, right? If you're using a different bike, so you're going with the S-Works Venge, your avatar goes into a slightly dropped position, which shows that you're in the draft. And when you aren't in the draft, you know, he moves out or whatever. So with the Tron, you can't see that you're in a fixed position. So I know some guys will not use the Tron just so they can benefit with the visuals they're seeing.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And getting the Tron bike, I guess, Sean, you've only been on Zwift for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
To get the Tron bike, you have to climb the height of Mount Everest 8 times.
Yeah.
Is that right? I think
That
so.
sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's how you unlock this unlock the Tron bike in Zwift.
I'm still trying to unlock a pair of sunglasses and some socks.
Yeah, exactly. So it's also sort of a badge of honor. You've spent some time on the platform.
Yeah.
You've done quite a bit of riding. It's not so much doing Everest the height of Everest 8 times in terms of climbing. That's quite something.
That's 8 times 8.
That's technically going to outer space.
Yeah.
In terms of climbing.
Basically going to Mars.
Not quite. By a factor of a few million.
We're going to take it to the next level.
You have to. Quibus, can we drop back to the second group just to see what's going on there? I saw Voldu sort of lighting up orange numbers there. Do you think he's smelling the possibility of reeling these guys in? They're traveling at 47, 48 at the moment.
Let's see. Okay, let's check back. We can see them in the background there. Now let's try and go back to them.
Well, he's a tall man. He's got the power in those legs.
Yeah, they're 6 seconds back. 4 seconds.
Very possible.
Hard to tell.
Are you sure this is not? No, man, this is the first group. He's in the first group. Voldy, isn't he? Yes.
Is he?
Look at it. Yeah, he is.
Showing that he was out the back. Okay. Interesting. Well done, Voldu. Apologies.
Sorry about that, Voldy. He's in the
game.
game.
Job out there. Yeah, he's in the game.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for Sean to mention the Vomit Comet. He's in it. He's in it to win it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now we're on board with Mark Kavanagh, who is in the second group, in fact. So here you can see, tantalizingly close. They can see that group in front of them.
Yeah, they can see them, but they still know the dirt climb is coming, and that's just going to detonate the field again, unfortunately. Yes. What's interesting is that Voldo has managed to make that selection, and we know from past races he's been up there contesting the sprints, putting out monumental amounts of power. So if I were Aquino and Eddie, I'd be slightly worried that Voldo is still here.
No, they'd need to get rid of him on this next climb.
They'd have to get rid of him, but if there's anyone who knows how to suck it up, it's Voldo. I've done many races with him, I've done many DCs with him, and that guy. If there's anyone who knows how to sort of monitor and measure his pain, it's Voldo. If he manages to stay with and get to the opportunity to sprint for the win, and he times it right, I think he's in with a shout. But it's still a long way to go, guys. We're coming in for another 19 Ks of pain.
And he is at 172 BPM on the flat here.
Oh, he's idling.
Oh, he's idling. Okay, he runs hot. Yeah. Is that what you're saying? Not a diesel.
I was going to say that is running on the cam there. Yeah? It's that's heavy.
He's idling. When he gets to sort of mid to high 180s, then you got to worry about the heat soak.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's keep an eye on him there.
That's when the motor starts pinging.
Yeah. Gets a bit of valve bounce when that happens.
To all the cyclists, join us on another evening. Myself and Aaron will go into our technical car stories. In fact, Aaron, that's a good idea.
We should do it, man.
We should do something.
We should get Ashley Oldfield involved as well. He's racing again tonight. I think he's in chasing group from what I can see, but Ashley's an ace when it comes to any kind of simulation with the cars racing simulation.
Cars and he's here tonight as well, is he not?
He's here tonight as well, yeah. So he's definite proof.
How did Ash
on how you can take this and translate it into real life.
Yeah, good stuff. Maybe we should get someone like it online and in studio with us. In fact, folks, we were chatting offline, I think, last week, and would be very cool to maybe have something towards the end of the season where we have a show after the show.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
We can chat. We can take any questions anyone has. We can recap on the previous races from the series. Just give it a little bit more detail into what we've been doing and what we've witnessed, and maybe dial in some of the guys who were taking part, just to get their idea and their views on what they went through.
Yeah, it certainly is the way that I think many of us are going in terms of the reality that's out there at the moment, and the onslaught of Zwift and all types of sim racing. So if you've got any questions, guys like Cobus and Aaron, technically they know what they're talking about, but we can get some guests on that if we don't know.
Some guests that don't know what they're talking about. Sounds like a great idea.
So,
yeah, it'll be fun. I think that's a cool idea.
Yeah, I think it's very cool.
All right, here are two. I seem to have lost Ellis, but Beth Kuchlenberg and Ina Mitchley, here they are together actually, seemingly racing each other.
Okay, so this is going to be an interesting dynamic for them, feeling each other out. Yeah, it's going to be quite exciting for the ladies' race, I think.
Definitely. Okay, let's see how the gents are getting on.
Having a look at the live data, Cobus and Sean, something that is probably of a concern to the guys who feel that they're actively jostling for position here. Eddie Hull, Christian Janse van Rensburg, and Gustavo Aquino are riding a measured race, 4.4 watts per kilogram average, which is super low, but very sort of frugal, I'd say. And there are a couple of riders who are hovering on 5, just above 5. We've got Rick Sorensen on 4.8 and Willy Muller from Switzerland on 5.3, which is
wow.
Colossal. That's colossal power for what's happening right now. Is he gonna cook himself? I'm not sure.
One could hope.
At the same time, something that's a little questionable. I don't like calling anyone out, but his heart rate's at 111 is Willy Muller. So 5.3 watts a kilogram average, and his heart rate is 111. Maybe it has something to do with his age. Oh yes, he is. He's over 60 years old. Who knows? That's alarmingly low.
Guys, we've gotten into trouble. We got into trouble this week for the jokes we make, because I guess people don't. People are not South African and don't speak the language, don't understand when something is said in jest, tongue in cheek, you know.
Translation issue, I'd say. So there was no disrespect to the writing in question.
No, absolutely. But, however, had that incident not happened, I might have made a joke about 60-year-olds struggling to calibrate their trainers.
Yes.
But I won't.
Just mute that mic quickly then.
Well, Rick Sorensen might also be upset by that. I believe he would understand me.
Rick is a monster, and so is David Bailey. Yes, Rick and David are both
all out there.
David Bailey is 60 plus, and Rick, where is Mr. Rick? Rick is also 60 plus. So they are in the same category, and they've been dueling each other for the last year. It's really good to have them both here. Really strong guys. Both age group level sort of crit champions in the USA. So they do have the outdoor credentials to back their ability. But at the same time, there isn't a dedicated, I wouldn't say there isn't a dedicated series, but there has been talk of an age group, a dedicated age group level series, so not masters as in like 30-year-olds. There's a 60 plus racing series. That's also to do with the new category ranking systems that Zwift Power and WTRL are trying to carry out. So guys will often be put in categories, so A plus down to D or even E. And when you do qualify for those particular rankings, so if you go from B to A, which is an average 20-minute power 4.6, some people find the step up is massive, and it takes them a good couple of months to sort of come to terms with the racing at that level. So WTRL are trying to bring in a new sort of ranking system where you enter a race, an algorithm picks up all your numbers and puts you with riders of equal ability.
Sure, it's amazing.
Interesting times, yeah.
Look, I guess machine intelligence is it's something that's penetrating into fitness more and more. We're seeing that. We know the likes of Team Quebec ASOS utilize it a lot, and I guess I can say it because Zwift isn't a sponsor. Trainer Road recently launching adaptive training, essentially using machine learning to customize your training on the fly. So there's a lot of that going on. I think we are watching Baldu falling out the back here on this on that risky little section. You wouldn't disclose earlier, Aaron.
Yeah, just drop an orange watt bomb, Baldu. You can do it.
Come on, Baldu. If you've got a featherweight power up, now's the time. Get back in there.
We'll see orange numbers.
You know what really happened is Aaron happily warned his teammate there. So Eddie put on the hurt at the front there, knowing he had to get rid of the soak.
I'm very objective.
Well, after one of those orange icons, he's going to put on the green.
Oh, he's putting it on. He's putting it on.
There we go.
675 watts.
He's going to put one of those little vomit emojis onto the screen.
Thank you, Valdu. We appreciate the show. We're going to move on now.
That's what we like. Our local.
He can handle it. He can handle it.
If anyone can, Baldu can.
Okay, front guys are shredding this field now. Look at this.
This is the money end of the field. This is where it's happening right now. The pace is going to start ramping up significantly. We're going to see solid 4, 5, 6s for the remainder of the race. And the guys know that this is a pivotal section because this is the lead into the climb.
Yeah.
Not an easy climb, as I mentioned, because it's really steep on the initial approach. Once they get onto the bridge part, it does subside a bit, but guys who want to attack and whittle it down even further have a propensity for sort of winding the throttle up just a little bit more, just to get off some of those stragglers. And then it's the bypass section and the downhill into the finish line, essentially.
And interesting, Aaron, guys that were racing last night in another series now came up for lap 2 on this climb. Are we going to see that affect their race up front here?
No. Zwift is, yes, it takes a lot out of the body, but it's not an outdoor race where you're doing 3 hours of racing. It's not like a stage race. It's not going to affect your legs to that extent. It depends what's more to be considered is how much training have they done outside as well today or yesterday, coupled with those races. So don't think we're going to see that much, or we're not going to see the effects of the racing today. When we saw Alice fall out, that wasn't a case of her effort from yesterday. She's racing with elite level Menya, essentially. Yeah. And for her to have stayed on for as long as she did is impressive.
It's commendable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then no slouches. We've got some SA champs. We've got some top-ranked drifters worldwide in that group.
Exactly.
Just having a look to see what her age is.
Bess. That's a good. Alice.
Yeah, she's a winner of Zwift International race from 2020. So she's no newcomer to the Zwift racing.
No, she isn't.
Well, we know that because she has the Tron bike.
Yeah. She's done that Everest climb 8 times, guys.
She's gone to space.
Thanks for letting me know. Or as Aaron would say, she's gone to Mars already. Oh, there you go. What are we? She's 23. Is that it? On her now? 23 Ks?
She's ranked 5th in the world on Zwift for women.
Oh, that is incredible.
To have someone of that sort of ilk competing here, especially with our South African ladies, it's...
Yeah. Guys, while we were checking on the ladies, it seems there was a bit of a shake-up at the front here. Gustavo involved.
Gustavo, I really love the way Gustavo races. He constantly rolls the dice. He's not afraid of taking the race to the guys, and we've seen it repeatedly over the past few weeks. The question is, who's going to go with him? We saw that Eddie held back a little yesterday. Last week, he tempered his performance a bit, thinking that Gustavo would possibly tap off. But those were some massive attacks put in by Aquino. The key moment now would be for Eddie to actually stay with and just hold the wheel, kind of like as we saw a few minutes ago on the Tour de France finish, where Richard Carapaz was sort of poker facing, and
That was amazing. That was a 10-kilometer bluff on a.
yes, I can't say I enjoyed that. I didn't like the way he did that.
It was great tactics. I mean,
It was a good bluff. It was a good bluff. But yeah, maybe Eddie can do the same thing to Gustavo tonight.
maybe Gustavo is watching Eddie's live feed.
Very true. Very true.
Now, just to name
steep section here, guys. Very steep.
yeah, just that you can actually see it. That is sharp.
I enjoyed the Tour de France today. There was a bit of a shake-up in what was getting to be a bit of a boring race. If GC were tighter, there would have been a phenomenal finish. But it was nice to see the guys actually attack each other.
I was hoping that Rigo Uran would be able to stay in there a little longer, just because he's had a rough couple of years since the last time he finished on the podium at the Tour, and he was running second, I think, virtually leading into the last section of that climb. And when Tadej Pogačar looked at him and realized he was cooked, and he put in that attack, I was like, oh, poor guy. Poor guy.
And I thought he was going to defend today. He was going to wait for the attacks that were inevitably going to come from Vingegaard and Carapaz. Yeah. But he actually went in the offense. It was amazing. Christian bridging across to Gustavo.
Yeah, some big numbers here. This is really what we want to see. Christian, good job, sir. This is what we want to see. This is why I commentate. To see it. Eddie Hull's coming across.
He doesn't want Christian to get away. Let's see. Here's Christian.
So Christian's putting an attack, and Eddie Hull from Toyota Cryo RDT trying to come across with Willy Muller, the 60-year-old from Switzerland. Absolutely splintering this field to pieces. David Bailey out the back. Sorensen out the back. Garrett out the back. Massive selection here. This is the best of the best tonight.
Yeah. I think this is some of the closest racing. This is just what you were asking for, Aaron, before we went live.
Yep, this is.
So, Aaron, I'm just going to put this back on screen now. If you've got a gap, is it easy to stay away? No, the guys are surely going to chase on. If there's still 4 or 5 guys chasing still together, they might get you.
It looks like what you were talking about right now. It looks like it's a 20-second gap. There's no ways that's coming back.
No. I mean this group in particular. Yeah, I mean relative to one another. So say you went on the attack late and got a 5-second gap. Surely this select group would chase you back before the finish.
It depends. It depends who's willing to actually work here. This is where a teammate comes into play. If there was another teammate here, maybe for Christian or Eddie, they could do the good old 1-2, which would definitely secure the win for one of them. But they're all of different. I mean, there's David Bailey here, but he's Cryogen Community. He's not RDT. So
no, he's not racing for Eddie. That's for sure.
He's not racing for Eddie, and he wouldn't be on any kind of Discord where they'd be able to chat to each other. So this is going to come down to repeated attacks, definitely. If it doesn't, we're going to see the guys probably at least keep this bulk together on the descent, and then the attacks will come probably from the bottom already. But those would have to be perfectly orchestrated and executed if you're going to attack from the bottom of the climb, or the bottom of the descent, sorry.
Just checking in with our ladies. I believe they are still together. Yes, there they are, Ina and Bet, still together. Okay, back to the men.
Yeah, just over 31 Ks into this race.
Mr. Mueller off the front. He's on a climbing setup, by the looks of things.
Very, very interesting. It's the first time he's sort of come to the fore in this competition. I don't know if he has participated in previous Masters events, but he's definitely putting on a show here for us.
I don't recall coming across him before.
It's a bit of a wasted move because there's a descent coming and he can't descend faster than the blob. That's impossible. So I'm not really sure what he's trying to do here. It's a bit of a nothing move. That's going to come back.
Trying to attack.
It's a strange place to attack though, Quibus, with the descent coming. I don't see the reasoning for this.
I quite enjoyed the commentary team. Although I'm not too fond of them, and McCrossan and Simon Gerrans on the local Supersport broadcast of the Tour de France. But one of them made the observation that the Tour happily award most combative rider to guys who stupidly go and blow themselves up, you know. So it's not always a badge of honor to get that award, especially if you're French. If you're French and you stupidly attack way too early and blow yourself up, then you're definitely going to get that award.
Here comes Eddie. Eddie's coming across to Willy. Here we go. Gustavo's following. So is David Bailey. Very, very interesting. Quibus, are you alluding to a possible pre-race award we're going to be giving out in the future? Most combative.
Well, we're definitely going to have to give it to Mr. Mueller then.
And he's up the power. Is he listening in on the broadcast?
It's possible. It's possible.
Very, very possible.
Although right now it's between him and Voldu, I think.
Guys, he's riding at 6.2 watts a kilogram on a downhill. And here we go. Here comes. Who's coming through? This is
Christian.
There you go.
Look at that. Super tucking past him. Not
Super tucking.
So we've
Okay.
got Willy doing 6.1 and Christian doing 0. Fantastic. What did I tell you? The guy's cooking himself. Valve bounce, guys.
Well, he's not really cooking himself because apparently his heart rate's only 121.
Wow. That is incredible stuff.
What a VO2 max that must be.
Oh, that's incredible. Incredible. So, guys, we've got about 5 kilometers left.
All right.
Still a long way to go, but this is where you need to start saving your power. So what's happening there with Willy is that he's just shredding for no reason. And that could very well put him out of contention for the sprint. Although that suggests he's got a sprint of 16.6 watts a kilogram, which should give him the win here tonight, based on statistics alone.
You can make statistics prove anything you want, though.
But let's see what happens here.
But yeah, nobody in this bunch are great sprinters, I'd say. Not that I'm aware of, anyway.
No, we don't have massive sprinters here, but we've probably got guys with exceptional 30-second power. So I think your Christians, your Eddies, and your Gustavos will be able to go out for 30 seconds.
We're going to see lots of long-range attacks today.
I was just about to ask, where is Tim Hook? And I look onto the other screen that's a little bit bigger, and there we go. Tim Hook is in the mix. Nice to see a winemaker from Franschhoek in the mix there. How did Tim? I know he listens to the live feed. Malcolm Isaacs, I just saw his name pop up as well. All our local guys from XCO. Nice to see them in that little.
It's always good to see those names flashing up. Unfortunately, the course I don't think is suited to those guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, who knows? There's 2 weeks left. It'll be nice to see them mix it up again. I think it was 2 weeks ago where we had Tim finish with the front bunch, which was fantastic.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a little bit further back than that. The weeks have been flying. And when you're having fun commentating, the weeks seem to just slip by. Aaron, just before we get to the finish line, because we're getting up there very close now, we're just going to head on over to obviously pay some of the bills. Of course, a big thanks to N Squared from Elite. You'll see the little name up on your screen there. If you're wondering what that is that amazing trainer that is up for grabs at the end of the season, valued at just under 18,000 Rand. Of course, to Powerbar, you'll see one of our co-commentators. He's got that cap on at every race meeting. Powerbar, of course, Trevor, who is looking after us, and he's been on board right from the beginning. RDX, the guys from Realty Dynamics out in Durbanville, if I'm not mistaken, Quibus.
Yes.
They handle most of that area. Great bunch of lads and really put a lot of effort into cycling. Love their vehicle. It's seen all over the place. Really, really well done. You want to take us through Vermaak and just what they do for us?
So, Vermaak, that's distributed by Bicycle Gear. Eve, thank you for coming on board and supporting the series. It's been great working with you guys, both Eve and her husband, Jonathan, who's been helping a lot with the multimedia stuff and that cool intro video that you saw, amongst other things, and the really nice shots that he took, much more professional than our amateur team have been managing at the live event. And thank you to Uwe Kutter, our headline sponsor, for contributing so much to the series, putting up serious money for both our leading male and leading female winners, so that the overall really have something big to contest for in this particular series.
And it's nice always catching up with Yaku. Does tremendous work. Obviously, we got to also thank the guy up on your screen there, Corvus, that looks like a bit of a maestro playing piano, but it's actually just him pressing all the right buttons to make sure that you see what you see up on your screen there at the moment. These things don't just happen. Of course, to Aaron Borrell, all the way from London, that is the technical guy that makes sure that we're always on top with all the latest of information from the Zwift world, and we thank you for that greatly. It really does change the commentary team altogether over the last season. It's been great having you on board, so thank you very much, Mr. Borrell.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks, Quibus. Like I said, always good being here, and I just appreciate being able to be part of this and just giving back to the sport and the country I love so much. Sean, you're slacking today. Usually at about 30 minutes in, you always throw a question at us. And I was waiting for it to come. And I was like,
guys, Gustavo's winding from behind. Look at him.
Interesting.
There he goes.
Yeah.
Everyone's going. Here we go.
This is probably a great time to have a quick on the fly.
Massive long range effort.
I wanted to get through our sponsors first, but Aaron, very quickly, what's your name now?
Still.
Eddie Hall. You can go from here. Yeah, you can go from here.
Teammates.
Oh, there's a
Willie Miller.
Is he coming?
That's him.
No ways. He's winding this up. The old man from Switzerland is just cranking up the throttle. I was about to say it was a case of Vin Diesel. Too soon.
15, 16 watts per kilogram.
That can't be right, guys. Gustavo's counted at 7.3 watts a kilogram. Eddie Hall cruising Billy Miller. What's going to happen?
Gustavo's used his aero power up. Eddie's coming from behind.
Long way, 600 meters to go. Here comes Eddie Hall, cranking it up to 11 watts a kilogram. Willy Muller following. Christian Janssen van Rensburg on 9.2. Jorge Marino at 9. What's going to happen here? Unbelievable.
I'm absolutely loving. Aaron Borrell's going to take over my job. I love it.
Gustavo takes it.
There we go. Got it.
Well done.
Unbelievable. Eddie Hall trying to bring it back. Willy Muller rolling the dice from 1 kilometer out, winding it up to 16 to 18 watts a kilogram. Unbelievable, guys.
I think Eddie was just so shocked by Willy's effort. He didn't follow Gustavo's wheel.
He just broke Zwift. I think Willy just broke Zwift. Definitely. But great ride by all. Christian, superb ride, mate. Really
well done.
Up there again. Well done.
I was just going to say, Christian Janssen van Rensburg, super job again, as always. And let's watch out for that name. I think in the next 3 weeks, he's going to be back on forming and getting back up to where he was last year this time.
Definitely.
Peter Matthijssen, also a great job to all the South African lads that are in that mix now. Well done to each and every one of them. Well done, guys. I commend you on a great performance. It's cold. If you're in the Western Cape, we know it's flipping cold. And to be wherever you are on that bike and to put out that type of performance, well done, guys.
Christian says thank you for the compliments, but you might have seen that just flash up on the screen there. I'm streaming my second Zwift feed from my phone, so running.
Hold on, I'm trying to get it, and I'm just not seeing what I want to see.
What has happened to Alice? That's what I want to see.
Alice, after she dropped, she quit.
Oh, come on, Alice.
She prefers a DNF. She prefers a DNF to not a podium, you know.
So she wants to beat men as opposed to... Maybe she doesn't know the categories. Maybe she doesn't know the whole competition. But I still think it's great that she entered and we had her here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Next time we'll ask her to stick around. The guys, preserve their records with great passion. I see Bess has dropped Ina. She's got about a 27-second lead, so she's probably gonna finish ahead of Ina today. Although Ina is chasing back on, by the looks of things. We're trying to, at least. Hasn't given up.
Willy Muller averaged 5.5 watts per kilogram for the race.
That is impressive.
That is...
He maxed, I think, at 127 BPM. So that's a diesel. That's a turbo diesel. Polo, TDI, two-door.
Yeah, I think that that car's clocks have been wound back somehow, I think. Sorry, hold on, I'm on the wrong feed.
Yeah, you're on the wrong feed, eh? Oh, me with the car guys here.
Yeah. But on board with the ladies at the moment. What was Kobus? If we can just run through first, second, third, fourth, and fifth, the top 5 males. If we can just run through those names very quickly. I am trying to get.
Are they up on Zwift Power yet, Aaron?
I can only see them in live. So it's Gustavo Aquino, Eddie Hull, Willy Muller, Christian Janse van Rensburg in 4th, and Jorge Marino in 5th. He was followed by David Bailey, Martin Conda from Spain, Frederik van Krenest, and Peter Matthijssen.
Well, then Peter Matthijssen, another one of our South African riders from Gauteng, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, great stuff. Nice to have you guys up there. Some more of that. Look, by the end of the winter, these South Africans are going to show them how to do it again, like we had last winter.
Yeah, last winter was great racing. I don't know if we had less riders, less international riders, but we had a great mix of local riders up on those podiums most of last season, or in fact last year.
Yes. Yeah, we did. I mean, when we raced last year, we were still racing in the ZHR races, but there were quality riders in those races.
Yeah.
So we'll get there. I think we'll get there. Absolutely. Okay, gents. Thanks a lot. There was lots of action. Nice to keep it under 60 minutes for a change.
Yeah. I think before we go and before we say goodbye from this crispy, cold, wintry Wednesday, a big thanks again to Uwe Kutte, Elite from N Squared, that amazing prize, Powerbar RDX for Mark, and Cape Multisport, of course. Thanks to our technical guy on the ground that streams all the way from London. You'll see him on the bottom of your screen. Aaron Borrell, thank you very much. He knows Zwift back to front. Always great having him on board. To all the riders, incredible stuff this evening. Well done. In fact, some proper excitement this evening. So thank you very much to all of you. And of course, the man that makes all these things happen on your screen. It doesn't get just done by chance. It's Kobus Potgieter. Thank you very much, all the way from Stellenbosch, covered in snow, those mountains. And thank you, Kobus. Appreciate your hard work in broadcasting this to everybody out there on a Wednesday evening. It's super fabulous, and I cannot wait to join you guys next week. We're rounding up the season in the next couple of weeks. I think we're getting to the action part of the season.
And thanks to you, Sean. Nice to have a professional commentator, cycling commentator like yourself. Although it seems like you've expanded into other markets recently. Fantastic to have you with us. Otherwise, there would have been a lot of awkward silences, I think, and feet and mouths. And thank you to Aaron Burrell for being the voice of reason and just a wealth of knowledge for us to tap during these races.
Thanks for the invite again. Quobus, if we need to apologize for the car talk or,
Not at all. I enjoyed that, especially the last one. That was great.
Good fun, good chatting with you guys, and really looking forward to that possible bumper edition in the finale, where we can take questions, chat about, the series as a whole, and just get down to the details.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
We'll put it together.
It
looks like our finale in a shop is not going to happen because of level 4 lockdown. So that might make for a very nice substitute. We will be in touch.
I was looking forward to that. I must admit, it would have been nice to spend some time down at Specialized in Sunnydale with Gina and her amazing team out there. So that's going to be a big pity. But I think a live show would be really, really cool. And I think we got the right players that can come on board and chat with us. And let's not talk cars anymore. I think for the next couple of weeks, let's talk cycling.
Unless the analogies are appropriate.
The analogies are good, man.
They were excellent. They were spot on tonight. Okay, perfect. Thanks, gents. Have a great evening, everyone.
Have a great one, and be safe out there, guys.
Thank you. Bye.